Blackstone Audio presents The China Fantasy: How Our Leaders Explain Away Chinese Repression by James Mann. This book bears a dedication. This book is dedicated to the memory of Mike Jendrzejczyk, who understood that ending political repression in China is a cause for both liberals and conservatives, both Republicans and Democrats, and everyone else. Introduction: Euphemizing China. This is not a book about China itself. It is about the China I have encountered outside of China. It is about the China of the elites, about the views of China that prevail in Washington and the other leading capitals of Europe and Asia, and in corporate headquarters around the globe. It is about the language, images, hidden assumptions, and questionable logic that powerful people, politicians, business executives, scholars, and diplomats use when they discuss modern-day China. Over many years, a collection of ideas, phrases, rationalizations, and doctrines has emerged, all of which serve to deflect attention from the persistence of China's one-party state and its repression of political dissent. One might think that the problems of China's political system would raise both moral questions and practical ones, but apparently they don't. The book seeks to explain why not, by scrutinizing the way our leaders think and talk about China. 20 years ago, after covering China as Beijing bureau chief for the Los Angeles Times, I returned to the newspaper's Washington bureau. Editors asked me what I might be interested in covering now that I was back in Washington. America and Asia, I replied. They acted as if I were crazy. That's not a full-time job, one editor told me. There's not enough to write about. It was late 1987, and back then virtually all of the U.S. State Department, Pentagon, and intelligence reporters in Washington were, of necessity, spending their time covering American policy toward the Soviet Union, then in the final years of the Cold War, and the Middle East, then as now, a mess. No, really, I protested. Asia policy is worth covering in Washington. Honestly, I've been living in China, and believe me, every week, sometimes every day, something's coming out of Washington that is of great importance for Asia and its future. You just don't realize these things are happening because none of America's biggest newspapers is writing about them. We're the Los Angeles Times, the biggest paper of the Western...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?